It's just like I'm a prisoner to this organization. That is the exact reaction I would have to Matt Corral. I wouldn't yell, I wouldn't cry, I wouldn't be happy, I wouldn't be mad. I would just slap my hands down and look at the television and realize I'm just a bird in a cage.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upside alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach. That is
the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 112 of Birds vs. Boys. We are in the home stretch, Aidan. We are just about 2 weeks from the NFL draft. This is our 1A. We always say the NFL season is our favorite season, but draft season is that second best season. I mean, Aidan, right now we have draft season, NBA playoffs, MLB has started. We just had an unbelievable Masters. I mean, it's 80 degrees outside. Life is blooming again.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it at that.
The draft is canceled.
Yes. I was about to say something will go horribly wrong if I agree with you. So I'm just leaving it at that. You said it perfectly, right. And that's it.
So before we jump into draft stuff, and I know you have some Eagles news, I maybe have some Cowboys news. I don't know. We're into crypto now. Cool.
Are you still in boycott of them?
It's not even there's just not like their big news is that they joined blockchain.com and they're the first NFL team that's going to be involved with crypto. Cool.
Do you think Jerry Jones knows what an NFT is? Does anyone know what an NFT is?
No.
It's probably a better question. I don't. I still think.
Did you see the video from the announcement today where there was all of the reporters down below at the Star, and he was elevated on another floor, but could look down, and he looked over. He's like, "My subjects."
Yeah, it was giving Trump vibes when he threw that paper towel into the hurricane victims.
Yes, it's unbelievable. But before we get into all of that goodness and shit, I said I wanted to throw something to you right at the top, which we haven't talked about yet. But
I told you getting a raw reaction from me could backfire very quickly for us.
I'm going to give you 4 names, and I want you to see if you already know what they have in common. Okay?
Uh-oh. What?
Rod Woodson.
Okay.
Hines Ward.
Okay.
Bob Stoops.
Okay.
And Wade Phillips.
Are they XFL coaches? Because I saw
all
Wade
head XFL coaches.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Wade Phillips, baby. Hines Ward as your head coach in the XFL. Yes, please.
That's awesome. Also, I love Bob Stoops came back for 1 game, and for Oklahoma, I thought that was awesome. They're like, who could we get to coach this bowl game? I know Bob's around. They're like, we know Bob's around. Yeah. And then they killed some team. They killed Oregon or somebody.
I forget. Was it? It might have been Oregon. It was somebody. Yeah. And they dominated.
Yeah. That's exactly what. That's what it was. He came back for 1 game, dominated. Now he's an XFL coach. That was a good one.
Yeah. How about the XFL? The Rock's out there. They have a new logo, really sleek. I mean, they're trying. I think they're trying to get away from that WWE vibes.
It was good. When it happened, I think it was actually good football until the pandemic happened. PJ Walker is the Michael Jordan of the XFL, so I'm content with that in life.
Our boy Colin Thompson was playing.
Yes, yeah, he was. I forgot about it. And then he got signed by the Panthers just like PJ. So
yep, yeah, it was awesome.
Possible, it's an avenue.
And then I also saw I was watching something on NBC yesterday, and all of a sudden a commercial comes up for an actual USFL game this Saturday night, 7:00. I think it's Birmingham and the New Jersey Generals actually playing a USFL game this Saturday night.
They probably I did not see any promotion for that. I feel like they should have promoted that one a little bit.
Did you hear who? Did you hear who one of the analysts are on TV?
Probably Pat McAfee. That
Nope.
just seems he might be above that pay grade at this point.
Jason Garrett.
One of Jason Garrett, is he? That he seems like the most boring person ever. Like you need somebody, like if you're one of these startup leagues, you need somebody who is going to be almost completely off the rails. Not off the rails, but you're tuning in for the entertainment. Like McAfee.
Garrett's kind of, if you watch some of those Hard Knocks, when the cameras are on and he's not at the podium, he can be funny. He talks about drinking. I think he called him like his lemonades or something. He can get to it, I think, a little bit. But it's interesting. I mean, I'm thinking now, like, yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna completely forget that game is on Saturday night.
I have bigger plans on Saturday night. The future of myself is on the line starting Saturday night. So no offense to the USFL, but maybe I'll catch you next week.
Maybe DVR.
I might.
But you have Comcast, so for some reason probably it wouldn't work or something.
Yeah, maybe if they build a third tower, the internet will work and the TVs will work. My remote didn't work this week, but I'm at the stage in life where if something breaks, I just don't fix it. There's lights in my house that just haven't worked. Like if I pan around right now, actually, I'll do it. I'll do it right here. Ready? For everybody who's watching on YouTube, there's literally track lights up there that they've been out for months, and I just don't know how to fix it, and it's just done. I'm never going to have light in the kitchen ever again. It's done. That's where I'm at in life. The Comcast remote broke. I was like, you know what? I'm never watching TV again.
I am pushing the remote to its battery extension to the end of its life because the thing keeps coming up on TV. It's like your battery or your remote control batteries are extremely low. And I was like, well, we're trying another day.
They're extremely low.
And it's been like for months. Yeah. It's been months. I'm like,
that's kind of how I operate in life. Mm-hmm. Battery is extremely low, but I'm not dead. I'm still here, still doing my job.
Coasting on fumes. All right, let's get into some Eagles talk here because I know there's some interesting names floating around the Philadelphia Eagles. Last week, we talked a lot of Tyrann Mathieu. I feel like his market has kind of gone quiet a little bit. Pat McAfee today, speaking of Pat McAfee, had Ian Rappaport on, and they were talking about Tyrann Mathieu now flirting big time with the Los Angeles Rams. If he goes to the Rams, I don't know.
I don't. All right. Like I know the cap situation is a little bit overblown with like how they're able to afford players, but at the same time, it's getting to the point that it's not overblown. How are they doing this?
And he was talking about how it's a destination and they won the Super Bowl and guys want to play together. So obviously if he goes to LA, he's going to get less money than he would get going to Philadelphia or New Orleans. It's just at this point, is he playing more to play on a championship team or to make money?
But with him, like he played for the Chiefs. Like you were in the title hunt every year. You won a Super Bowl. You're in a Super Bowl. I don't know. I mean, I always say this, like people are always hurt when people don't come to Philadelphia. It's like, yeah, do you want to live in Philadelphia where it snows for 5 months? Or do you want to live in Los Angeles where like, if you're rich, it's pretty easy to live out there. If you're poor, it's not that fun. But when you're rich, it's an easy life.
And you can just walk out your door and have endorsement deal contracts. Where here, it's like, what do you want to go to Delco Steaks and be sponsored?
If you do want to be sponsored, we know a guy.
We do. Happens.
Yeah. Well, listen, no. If he comes to Philadelphia, we'll get him with Delco Steaks.
Exactly.
If he goes to LA, he'll go to what's the Salt Bay guy?
The which one?
The Salt Bay guy.
Oh yeah.
He
could. Yeah, it's just so it's it's what kind of life do you want to live while playing football?
Yeah, that's why they always want to go to LA, and like that's why in free agency in the NBA, it's always like that. It's like, oh, he could get a max contract from the Timberwolves and he didn't take it. Why? It's like, well, yeah, because he went to the Heat.
Yeah,
he lives in Miami now. Like, why would you ever live in Minnesota?
Ever.
Ugh, it's the same logic is going to apply now that there's teams in LA for football.
Mm-hmm. So I think. Now, like we said, we're 2 weeks from the draft. I think for the most part, the free agent signings are dried up for now. And now teams are fully focused on the draft. see what they get from the draft, and then we're going to go back to the next cycle of free agent signings for teams to sign players that they weren't able to draft that position that is still a need for them.
It's like Memorial Day weekend. There's plans that you want to financially commit to, but there's still a month and a half of spending money that you have to do before you get to Memorial Day. So you don't want to commit money now because you have to commit money to other things along the way. That's where the NFL front offices are. They would like to commit to free agents, but there's things that they have to spend money on first in the form of the draft. That's what it's like. You want to have a great Memorial weekend, but first you have to figure out if the money's going to work.
And they may have a chance to get a younger, better deal on 4th of July.
Cheaper, yeah.
And not have to, and just skip Memorial Day.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Cowboys are skipping Memorial Day, July 4th, Flag Day. Labor Day.
Memorial Day is overrated. It's the beginning of the summer,
is
but it always is cold, rains. I love
it. Always rains.
Yeah.
It always rains.
Always rains. It's cold. 4th of July and Labor Day. Labor Day is better because football is starting. I know it's the end of the summer, but the weather's always on point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad holiday, but it's also one of those things that's like, don't be sad that it's over. Let's think about the summer and enjoy it in this last weekend we have.
Yeah, have a grand finale.
Mm-hmm. And boom, football's here.
And then football. Yeah. It's a lot easier to compensate with what's going on in terms of the weather and the fall and everything like that when you have football to look forward to.
100%.
You forget about all the other bad stuff that's about to happen as soon as fall starts.
Exactly. All right. So big name visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, correct?
Few this week.
Yeah.
The top 30 visits are rolling in every day. So yesterday, if you're listening to this, it was on Tuesday. Jameson Williams was here of Alabama. I think we're all on board with going back to the Alabama pipeline. And then today, what was eye-opening? Fast, very fast. Can't wait for the mock draft 3.0 coming out. Today, Matt Corral, Ole Miss QB. Here's the thing. You only get 30 visits.
Yep.
There's a lot of positions of need on this team. So if they're bringing in a quarterback, it means they got to be somewhat serious about drafting this kid.
Now, they would have to pick him at 15 or 18, correct?
No.
You think they could get him in the second or trade back in?
So I was about to say you would have to trade back in. Basically, what I have learned today and trying to figure out if this is a real thing or not is that, yes, 1, it is a real thing. 2, would you take him at 15? Probably not. But you would want to take him in the first round.
So maybe a trade back?
Yeah, you either trade 18 back or try to trade up in the second round to back into the first round. And they do have the picks to do that now that they made this trade with the Saints. But basically, you get the 5th-year option on this quarterback if you trade back into the first round. So
you may still get your 3 picks in the first round after all, Aidan.
Oh, I'm craving the power again. I hope they do it before the draft so I can do one last mock draft with everything.
Give it back to me.
Yes, I want the power back. That was so much fun. And they stripped it right away from me.
We should have started our mock drafts earlier. You could have enjoyed it more.
I know. Yeah, but I knew it was coming. I knew the end was coming. Yeah.
Something was coming. So how do you feel about that?
I don't want this kid.
No?
I'm sorry. He could turn out to be good, but I just can't do it anymore. I can't keep talking myself into these like people and prospects. Like I've just done it too much. Like I wake up every day and want Alec Bone to be a superstar. And every inning it changes. And then he either hates it here or he's a hero, and it changes every inning. I can't keep doing this with prospects. Just get me to Bryce Young next year where I know it's going to work and I know CJ Stroud's good. Like I know those guys are going to be good. I don't know if Matt Corral's good, and I don't want to have to talk myself into someone else. Because I'm getting to the point with everybody who shows up here where they are good for 1 week and then they're awful. Like I can't do it anymore.
I literally remember at Branded last year, we made a Bum VP shirt.
Yes. He was awesome for 1 year, like everybody is, and then the talent gets sucked out. If James Harden got traded to Phoenix, he'd be averaging 37 this year. But he got traded to Philadelphia, so he looks like a Space Jam scene when they suck the powers out of it and give it to the aliens. That is Philadelphia. That's exactly what would happen to Matt Corral. Don't want him.
Has he not been playing well? I haven't been following.
not as well as what there was a year where he averaged 36, and there's games where he goes 3 for 12 for 13 points. It's like I don't think that's what I signed up for. But that's Philadelphia.
Yeah, again, free agents. Why would you?
Yes, exactly.
They
Matt
see
Corral,
the power getting checked out.
He will end up in Seattle and have a prosperous career, and we'll do the whole thing where we're like, oh, we should have drafted him. Look how good he is. It's like, yeah, but that's because it's Seattle. It's not because if he was here, it'd be a totally different narrative.
He'd be eating so many Delco steaks because that would be a sponsorship. The power gets sucked out. You just get fat.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Who'd be responsible for that? Somebody that we know. It'd be all his fault.
Would be. It's easy to blame the people you know.
Yeah. Well, but they're involved. They're involved. It's not a scapegoat if it's true. But no, I mean, if they draft him, am I going to be mad? No. But am I going to be excited? Also, no. It would honestly, like, nothing would shock me after Jalen Hurts, and it'd be the exact same feeling. Like, well, why did we do that? Now I have to talk myself into it, which I will do, but I won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's the Matt Corral story.
I like Matt Corral. I think he's a fiery type player. He was great in college. I felt terrible for him getting hurt in the bowl game.
It's like,
but
here's why you don't play in the bowl game.
Yeah. Once again. But is he a guy, if the Eagles picked him, I'd be terrified of? No.
Like, you have to be 1,000,000% sure. And there's no one in the world who can say that they are 1,000,000% sure in Matt Corral right now.
No. So that's why, I mean, if you could get him in the second or the third, maybe. But I think that's more of like the Sam Howell of this draft. I think you'll be able to get him in the second or the third. And he may have some first round talent. But yeah, I don't know if I'm trading back from a premier spot of 15 or 18 or trading multiple picks to get back in the first round to get him when you have Jalen Hurts. He's probably pretty comparable to Matt Corral, plus already has a year and a half, I guess you could say, 2 years of experience in the NFL. Why not just surround him with more weapons, see what he can do, and if he doesn't work, then bang, you have two bona fide superstars and the power to move up to go get one of them next year.
Correct. You are a thinker, Kevin. That is the line. That is the logic. That is the common sense. If people like you ruled the world, we'd be way better off. That is the line of logic that everyone needs to have right now.
Like, Philadelphia is not winning the Super Bowl this year, no matter what. If Matt Corral is there, if Jalen Hurts is there, you have your quarterback you already picked in the second round not too long ago. Give the dude some weapons, see what he can do. If he fails again, you move on.
I say that all the time, too. It's like, all right, we're going to change the quarterback again, and he's just going to fail because there's no one to throw to. But it's just like, I don't know. Is Matt Corral, is Jalen Hurts even good? I don't know. Is Matt Corral better? I don't know. I just don't want to have to find out. I just don't want to have to do the experiment.
Nope.
I know what's happening. Like, I know this is going to happen. This
I hope
sucks.
they take him at 15.
Yeah. Honestly, like, if they took him at 18, like, I would remember the video of me when they drafted Jalen Hurts. I just like slapped my hands down and looked at the TV. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just like looked there and just processed it. And it's just like, I'm a prisoner to this organization. That is the exact reaction I would have to Matt Corral. I wouldn't yell. I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be mad. I would just slap my hands down and look at the television and realize I'm just a bird in a cage.
I'd rather get your reaction to when CeeDee Lamb was drafted by the Cowboys.
Oh my God. That ended up even worse than it was in the moment. Like, in the moment, I knew it was bad when you guys got Lamb and we got Reagor, and it somehow ended up spiraling even more. How's that even possible?
So that speaking of Reagor and the draft, have you seen these mock trades for?
Wait, yes, I wanted to bring that up.
With Houston, right? Reagor and like a bunch of picks for 3. Why? Again, for who?
You would have to really believe in Kayvon Thibodeau, Sauce Gardner, which I do.
Trayvon Walker.
Yeah. But, I mean, you guys are telling me he's going 1. We'll get into that in the mock draft because I did not know that. Sauce Gardner, I think, could be the next Jalen Ramsey. So, like,
I think he's the safest pick in this entire draft.
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. Here's the thing. So here's the deal that was out there on Twitter as like a hypothetical scenario. I think it was Peter Schrager. It was the Eagles give up 15, 18 in Reagor for pick 3 with Houston. So to me, like if you ask yes or no, would you do that deal? I would only do the deal if I know who the prospect is at 3. Like if I knew who they were trading up for, I would veto that trade depending on what prospect it is. Again, Sauce Gardner to me is going to be the next Jalen Ramsey. I would say yes. But if it's like Evan Neal, the tackle from Alabama, I'd be like, I don't think so.
You could get Cross. You could move up to like 8 or 9 and get Cross, who may be just as good as Evan Neal.
Yeah.
And not have to give up so much.
That much, exactly. Now, the one thing with that is clearing Jalen Reagor's cap would be phenomenal. That's an extra $10 million that I don't have to pay. That'd be great. If you're the Texans, I don't know if you do that.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't. What does Jalen Reagor bring you?
Nothing. Also, what's his 15 and 18? The only thing that you could say if you're the Texans is like, all right, we have a top 5 draft pick in a class that isn't top heavy. We could go back and get 2 prospects instead of 1. And we don't believe that the difference between 3 is that difference between 15.
And Aidan, what does the mock draft simulator say about the Texans?
They need everything. So logically, the more picks, the better, because you got to hit more than you're missing when the mock draft simulator says we need everything. That's the first time I've seen that since the Knicks. That's always funny when you suck so much that they're like, it's not defensive end, it's not defensive tackle. You need every position on defense and every position on offense.
Just wherever you go, just pick somebody.
Yeah. And then it's great to be the GM, though. Like, you just be like, well, we have a lot of picks now because we traded Deshaun Watson, and I can't screw this up because, at least in the fans' eyes in the present time, because there are so many positions of need that anybody I take, they will be on board with.
Yes.
Not a bad gig.
Just go SEC. Yeah. Right down the board.
No, in common sense world, that's what you do. But
that's what he does.
Yeah.
And then I also saw a mock trade about trying to get Deebo to Philadelphia. But, I mean, apparently he wants like 25 bones a year.
Don't care. You know how I feel.
Yeah, I love Deebo.
Jack Fritz hosted the midday show on WIP today because it was a Phillies day game at 1. So the High Hopes podcast was handling 10-1.
Awesome.
And they were talking DK Metcalf or Deebo Samuel. And I was like 1,000,000% Deebo. But it was very like 50-50.
I think I agree too. And not only just the physical traits, I think Deebo is an unbelievable athlete, an unbelievable receiver / halfback. DK Metcalf is too. He's obviously a specimen. But the thing that I think separates them is I see much more of that swagger from Deebo than DK. Kind of like that, what we were talking about with Tyrann Mathieu coming to the Eagles and just that switch that he would bring. Like that boombox when he's walking in and shit. It's different.
I feel like you and I have felt the same way. Well, you played Deebo in the playoffs, so you literally know this feeling. There's certain players who you're always on the wrong side of the explosive back-breaking play, where someone turns a 10-yard catch into a 60-yard catch, and you're like, how did they miss 3 tackles? Like, he had a spin move, and all of a sudden, like, I thought we were getting off the field on 3rd down, they just picked up 60 yards. And then on the opposite side, like Tyrann Mathieu, it's like, I thought we had a 9-yard catch on 1st down, and instead it's a strip fumble, and they have the ball. It's like, we're always, as fan bases, we can agree on blue bandana, red bandana. We are always on the wrong side of that. That's always. Deebo.
Always. Yeah, I would at the same time consider giving something up for Deebo. It's not going to happen, but
no,
yes.
I think the 49ers, nothing would surprise me after this year, but I think the 49ers would be insane to be trying to figure out if Trey Lance is good and give up his best weapon.
So DK, AJ Brown, Deebo Samuel, you have to pick one that you think is actually going to get traded.
Yeah, DK. Like, I mean, it would be very easy for them to Like they're going to pay a wide receiver and they don't have a quarterback. Like that's not how life works in the NFL right now.
And you have Tyler Lockett anyway.
He, I think, is low key. I could see the Packers trying to pull something off for him. Can you see that?
You get his speed and route running ability with Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Yeah, he gives me Randall Cobb vibes with Aaron Rodgers, like back in his heyday, right?
Speaking of former Green Bay Packers, Devontae Adams' boy just got paid.
Derek Carr.
Vegas. How about that?
Talk about a horrible contract. He's the fifth highest paid. He is the fifth highest paid quarterback in the league. He's never won a playoff game.
No.
Never won a playoff.
No. He's probably like 17th or 18th in the league. I would put him at quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. People think like this is the running joke on TikTok, but it's also not a joke. No. Like he's the worst quarterback in his division and is also the fifth highest paid quarterback in the league.
And apparently Sean McDaniels has been in love with him for years. And was it 2 years ago when it was very up in the air if Gruden was going to move on from him? Apparently the Patriots were extremely involved in trying to go get him. And McDaniels has been wanting to work with him for years. And that's another big reason why he wanted to go to the Raiders now.
They definitely take one look at Mac Jones and like, well, it's the next best thing to Derek Carr.
Can you imagine? I can't see Derek Carr in a Patriots uniform. It just doesn't. I don't know.
After this offseason, I could see anybody anywhere. True. That's what I've learned. There's no uniform that won't shock me. You want to talk a little of the? We're going to do our own mock draft, but some mock drafts are out, so we should react to what other people are saying because they've got front office connections.
They do.
They kind of have an idea of where these people could be going. So I think Vince, thanks to his ESPN Plus subscription, can pull up the mock draft. You haven't seen. So this is Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft, came out this week.
Yep.
I've seen what the Eagles have. Happy to react to it. Kevin hasn't seen what the Cowboys have yet. So
good.
You'll get the raw reaction.
Vince isn't chomping down on a steak right now. He's working for us.
He's working. Also, Sauce Gardner at number 2 to the Lions. I'm telling you. I love that kid.
All right, so Jacksonville goes Hutchinson, Sauce. There's Trayvon Walker, top 3.
The Georgia defense is just hilarious to me. Kayvon Thibodeau at 4. Also, I can just tell by this. Also, the Panthers getting Malik Willis would be good for them, right? Like I feel like that's normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they already have Willis though there.
Yeah. So, and then real quick, Jermaine Johnson, who's an Eagles target, he goes 7. So some of these names where I'm like, all right, well, they'll be there. When we had picks 15, 16, and 19, there were some guys who were like, oh, at 19, I'll take this guy. I think in mock draft 1.0, I took Jermaine Johnson at 7.
You did.
There's a lot of guys flying off draft boards, and Jermaine Johnson's one of them. The name that Vince just circled on the other one. So at 8, Garrett Wilson to the Falcons, which would make sense. They're going to be without Ridley probably forever. I don't see him coming back.
I believe he was my number 1 receiver in this draft class last week in our TikTok.
Yeah.
First receiver off the board.
He is how I feel about Alabama players in general. You just take Ohio State wide receivers at this point.
Yep.
So we'll keep scrolling. We don't have to go through all
9,
of them.
Evan Neal, Drake London's off the board for you. Kyle Hamilton slips to 11, huh? Stingley to 12.
There's 2 right there. Stingley and Kyle Hamilton both drop. Okay, thank God the Washington cornerback is off the board before the Eagles can do anything stupid. And at 15, the Eagles take Chris Olave, which I think is who I had us taking at 18 last week in mock draft 2.0.
You did.
So I think, and you and I both sang his praises.
I would love him on the Cowboys, and people have been mocking him at 24, but way off the board here. Hold on. Jordan Davis right before.
Yeah, that would have broken my heart. Jordan Davis at 17 to the Chargers, but my heart would have been put back together getting Nakobe Dean at 18.
So I saw this on Twitter, and I don't know if it's true. Hold on, Vince. That Nakobe Dean only has 1 30 visit. That can't be true.
Who's it with?
I don't know. I just saw. That can't be true. Does he have a 30 visit with Philly? I don't think he has one with Dallas.
Yet. No, I haven't seen him have one yet.
Weird.
I mean, maybe he hasn't had them yet, Or is it just like, are they pre-scheduled that you would know, or do you just know?
Dallas had all their 30 out like 2 weeks ago. You knew who was coming in.
I feel like I get one a day, like every day.
Well, that's probably when they're like coming in. You can probably look up right now who their 30 visits are.
All right, maybe we'll do that in the meantime for the mock draft.
All right. So
Jameson Williams at 19. So that's interesting because I saw that he was going to go top 10. Kenny Pickett to the Steelers would be hilarious for obvious reasons. That he just stays in Pitt. Yeah.
So Devin Lloyd 3 before me. That hurts.
That's no fun. Christian Watson, North Dakota State.
Wow.
Feels like
before Treylon Burks, huh?
That's a reach, right?
Yeah. Carson Wentz. Treylon Burks 1 before the Cowboys.
Ooh. I could react to this pick.
React for me because I don't know much about him.
All right. So this kid played at Temple. He transferred to Penn State. Traitor, but he was awesome at Penn State. They have Randy Gregory here. You see a lot of Randy Gregory in
with him.
Yeah. So Arnold at a big day. I can't say any names. I've heard this kid's name 100 times. I will never get it right. But he's that like tall, kind of, like wiry is probably not the right word because he could break my neck if we were ever in a cage together. But he's like the tall, wiry, just super explosive athlete off the edge who kind of just has this ferocious, fast step that can get by people. It's like Randy Gregory. Like, he was a great third down guy where he could just get past the tackle with his speed. And it's just like he can kind of just curve around that tackle, which is what you get with Arnold.
So you're telling me put him on the edge and then stream Micah Parsons up the middle right next to him going after the quarterback together?
Correct. Yes. That'd be the plan, and put him opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence. Let him learn from DeMarcus Lawrence. I do think so. In every mock draft that you and I have done, he's been going in the second round. So I feel like 24 is a reach, but I also love the prospect. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have. This is the only mock I've seen him. This is the only mock I've seen him go in the first round.
In the first round, but again, we keep talking. Like, there's a lot of guys that are flying up the board.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't doubt it because the Cowboys took a grown man named Taco in the first round. So,
well, they did, but it wasn't like there was anyone else behind him who was like,
true.
I don't know, that could be defensive player of the year
every year,
set a franchise record for sacks for their team.
Yep. No,
be a future Hall of Famer. Nobody comes to mind behind him like that. So at least you have that.
Zion Johnson, Karlaftis. Wow, Karlaftis dropping all the way to 30.
He's another guy who's a 30 visit with the Eagles. That is. I could see the Eagles drafting him because you have all these big names, and then we'd take a defensive end for Purdue.
Look at Tyler Linderbaum, 31.
Wow,
he was like top 12.
Yeah, I wonder. Very fitting that we end the draft or end the first round with a Georgia player. What a defense, man!
Oh God, yeah. He's good. That safety. I would if Dallas didn't lock up Malik Hooker and Kate and Curse, I would have loved him at 24.
If the Eagles leave this draft without a player from Georgia's defense, there's going to be some self-harm around here. That's all I'm going to say. That is a public threat to Howie Roseman. Self-harm if I don't get someone from that Georgia defense. I want it on record.
All right.
But also not so on record that we get canceled and they take this down from YouTube.
Yeah, we might have to cut that out a little bit. All right, before we get out of here and we head into our other room to do BVB Mock 3.0, we do have a TikTok tonight, do we not?
Yes, we do. This is an interesting one. We're staying with the draft theme. We're doing draft stuff all the way until we can't anymore. We're doing it till May. No sleep till May. All right, so tonight we are doing top 3 prospects most likely to drop in the upcoming NFL draft.
Okay.
Do you have yours? We'll bring Vincent if he's got his, and then we'll be good to go.
Evan McPherson is not in this draft.
Oh, we should have brought Vince's Nuggets back and see if there was like a kicker. Do you know about the punter from San Diego State who's like the greatest? Like, he'll go in the 3rd round.
I think Dicker the kicker's in this draft.
He is.
He is. Dicker the kicker is.
Oh
in this draft.
yeah. I feel
saw
like
him
he's
mock
been.
with Cowboys.
That'd be great. I feel like that'd be perfect. The Texas kid stays in Texas.
Yep.
He was the only good thing about Texas's football program for 5 years.
Yep. Literally.
So tonight, like I said, we're doing top 3 prospects most likely to drop. We'll get our normal triangle back. So you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right. At 3, I have Kayvon Thibodeau. I keep hearing about all this, like the behavior issues and everything like that. No. It's just that he has a brain and wants to use football as a platform for business. And NFL front offices who are billionaire white people just want him to smash his head into somebody else for 10 years and do nothing else. That's why he's going to drop. It has nothing to do with talent or behavioral issue.
3 for me, unfortunately, it sounds like it's Kyle Hamilton. I don't really understand why. Okay, he didn't have a great 40 time. If you watch his tape, he is just an instinctual, unbelievable safety. He has range. He can pick the ball off. He can hit. He can do it all. Some have even said that he's the best prospect in this entire draft. So I don't think he should be falling out of the top 10, but sounds like he might be when, months ago he was a top 3, top 5 pick.
3, I have Chris Olave. You guys just kind of cucked my pick here with that mock draft. If he could just fall to like 15, be A-okay with me.
Hopefully. Depends on when that run of receivers comes. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a standoff where it's like who pulls the trigger first, and then it's gonna be receiver.
Yep. Correct. That's exactly what's going to happen. Which is also like the second round of every fantasy draft ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be like quarterbacks in fantasy. When someone takes Brady off the board, there goes Mahomes.
Yep. On all of them. All right, at number 2, I have Derek Stingley. I think we live in a what have you done for me lately world, and he really recency biased. We didn't see him at all. He didn't really play for LSU this past season. His best season was in 2019. So what have you done for me lately? And technically he hasn't done much lately, so I feel like he might drop.
2 for me, it's Tyler Linderbaum, one of my favorite prospects in this entire draft. But he is only 6'3", 290 pounds, and as a center, that's not numbers that teams love. He's like a Jason Kelce type. So you need to find that fit of a team that likes athletic, smaller centers. And unfortunately, even though he's a tactician, probably the best player of his position in the entire draft, I think he's going to drop specifically because of his numbers. Measurable.
At two, I have Matt Corral. Hopefully he just drops right on out of the first round. Don't even bother with him in the first round. I think he's got behavioral issues. There's concerns about his maturity. And if there's one thing you want from a quarterback, it's goofiness. So I think he can drop right on out of the first round. So teams don't even have to worry about taking him.
Yeah, well, I tell that to somebody I know. All right, at 1, I have Kyle Hamilton, and I'm with Kevin. I don't know why. I just keep hearing from everyone in the know that this kid is going to drop. I never get a solid foundational reasoning as to why he's going to drop. It's just that every mock draft and every NFL draft analyst tells me that he is.
So 1 for me, it is Nakobe Dean, smaller linebacker. And I just did look up. It was coming from him himself saying he only has 1 30 visit, and it's with the Detroit Lions. We need to make sure Nakobe Dean does not go to Detroit. Save Nakobe. Keep him away from Detroit. I think he has top 10 talent, but again, it's kind of like Tyler Linderbaum. He's a smaller guy. So I think he is going to drop. If he wants to drop to 24, come on to Dallas and play with Michael Parsons, please.
He does have a Detroit name, though. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that sucks. I could see it.
No.
Yeah. At 1, I have Kenny Pickett. Dainty little baby hands aren't helping. People say it is a joke, but the dude fumbled a lot at Pitt. So is it really a joke? And then I can just see him being this year's like Josh Rosen, where it's like he was originally mocked to go like top 5 and then drops all the way down to where he drops and then ended up not having a career. So I could see that happening with Kenny Pickett, where teams just end up being right about him and he drops way lower than people thought. Hopefully he goes before 15 and 18 though, because I don't even want to have to think about it.
I know. I'm with you. I don't want any quarterback to think about when we're drafting 15 or 18.
Vincent, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I got.
Self-harm.
All right.
On and on record.
Make sure you follow us, BVB, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. Our mock draft 3.0 is coming out. So if you haven't watched it on your YouTube channel yet and you just finished this episode, head over to our YouTube channel. Or if you're watching us on YouTube now, just click back and then go right under this. And it's going to be right there. We have mock draft 1.0, 2.0, and now 3.0. See who we want to take for our teams. And then draft prospect videos coming out next week. And then boom, draft will be here and we will have draft coverage. So it's our second favorite season of the year. It's draft season. Stick with us. Enjoy it with us. And we'll be back next week.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upside alert. Upside alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach. That
is? Be the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.